As the chakram turns, and I'm Helen.
I'm Bryn. So we are going into change the format of our podcast.
Yeah.
And we have already watched season 2, episode
13. The Quest.
And we have made notes. Technically I have made scribbled chicken scratch that Helen is going to take talking points from.
Yeah, I'm going to figure it out.
And this is mostly so we can watch the shows
Woo,
with
power.
we have power.
That'll be an odd thing that you guys hear. I was going to explain that I wanted to have episode clips every once in a while. Maybe we could look at. But the power's out. But now the power's back, and their TV's making a loud noise. Where's the remote? There it is.
But this is mostly because with our gremlins never getting better, it has been difficult to maintain some sort of a schedule. So this is us trying to do better by everybody.
Yeah, basically, because what's happened is our son, who started kindergarten this year, has been sick basically constantly, because for the last 2 years he hasn't been allowed to be around people, so he has no immune system. And his sister was very, very good at wearing her mask last year, so she didn't even bring home that many germs.
No.
So he's been a fairly sick little boy until this year, and he's had croup, and he's had 3 COVID tests. It's been negative every single time. Poor kid. And then, after he gets better, I get sick. So that's what makes it difficult.
Because her immune system is compromised.
It's not compromised. It's excited.
You are full of lupus, woman.
Yeah,
you
but
are compromised.
It's excited. Anyway, so we're going to switch it up. We're hoping that this will work a little bit better. The episodes will be a little bit shorter. Also, our episodes kept getting flagged for copyright, which is understandable since the entire episode was basically audible the entire time. So this way here, we can just put clips in as needed, I guess. Anyway, to start this episode off, The Quest. Bryn, what happened last episode?
We've already watched A Necessary Evil. Last episode we watched was Necessary Evil.
The last episode that we're talking about.
Oh, Xena's dead.
This is what I have to deal with, people.
I meant to get a coffee, but the power went out.
That's fair. The power came back on. Do you want to pause and get a coffee now?
No, because now we have to make sure we get it done before our son gets home.
This is why energy drinks are important.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, fuck. Okay, she's running away now. I will tell you, the last episode we watched was Destiny, which talked about basically the birth of Xena's, warlord mentality and her first meeting with Julius Caesar. This all happened basically while she was dreaming after an attack by a group of roaming barbarians that murdered her, basically. Anyway, the end of that episode very clearly sees her choosing to live for Gabrielle. Very clearly. It's not even an accident. She's only shown talking images of Gabrielle, so that makes sense. I'm starting to think that Bryn doesn't actually have an energy drink. She's been gone a long time, and our kitchen is not that far away. I'm gonna pause. Okay, I found Bryn. I have
got a little lost.
It's not a big fridge. I had recapped the episode. That's basically where we're left off.
Okay, so you recap Destiny.
Yes.
And we start off.
We got Gabby having a bad dream.
Oh, bad dream. Where she goes and hugs the sarcophagus.
Yeah, and then afterwards she goes and hugs the sarcophagus, and then the next one is a bunch of barbarians that attack her because they want to take Xena's body for ransom.
Yes.
And then Iolaus pops up.
Yes.
For reasons. Without Hercules.
Yeah.
Iolaus is just wandering around the countryside without Hercules, which almost never happens in the actual show.
Yeah.
And when it does happen, that's when Hercules jumped the shark. all the way off the shark.
The thing about that
Into
also,
the shark's mouth.
what I don't understand is Gabby. This is only season 2, so she is just getting good at her staff.
Yeah.
Aeolus leaves her.
Yeah, he does. He leaves her to go back to Hercules. Like, I feel like they did this so that they could say on Hercules that Xena was dead, but the shows take place in the same universe, and Xena knows where shit is because it was in Hercules. So we already understand that certain conversations happen off screen in this world. It doesn't make sense that Aeolus doesn't need to be there.
Nope.
Was Michael Hurst directing the episode? You
No.
had the wiki up. Alright, well that would have at least made sense. I got literally nothing now.
No.
Turn my blanket
Besides,
back on.
just to make sure that Hercules gets told.
Yeah.
And we don't need that. I mean, I did watch Hercules, but just when I knew that the crossovers were happening.
Well, I started watching Hercules, and then when I started watching Xena, I stopped.
See, my mom and my aunt were all about Hercules and drooled all over him, and I was just like, I have no interest in it. I was gay way early, without realizing it. So I was like, this isn't interesting. I'm like, Greek myths, yay, great, but this doesn't appeal to me. It could be because I had to watch it with my mom and my aunt going.
I mean, maybe.
And so when I came across Xena completely by accident, that was it. So then I was like, well, crap, now I have to watch Hercules. So if I miss something that happened in Hercules that's then going to be part of Xena, I need to know. Because I'm all about the needing to know.
No, I started with Hercules.
Makes sense. That's how you actually got to meet Xena.
Yeah. But I don't remember watching Hercules from the beginning.
Oh god, I've never watched Hercules from the beginning.
I have. Don't recommend it. Because I do own Hercules season 1 somewhere. Or I did at one point and maybe we've gotten rid of it.
Oh, we haven't because reasons.
Oh, it's because it's got the Xena movies?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, I don't know. I got into Hercules first because of the Greek mythology stuff. And I liked it. I had no problems with it. But when Xena started, I just watched Xena, and then I would only watch Hercules when there was a crossover. But I didn't really start to despise it until the Dayhawk storyline crossed over, and I felt like they did a lot of, like, really bad stuff with that and destroyed the show. I don't know whose decision it was to go that way there. Because Xena was kind of one and done with it. Like,
yeah,
one season, that's it.
They bring it back up in like context.
Yes,
if
that's
needed,
it.
but they didn't.
Yeah.
Double down on it. Be like, yes, this is the way we go.
Which, I mean, we could talk more about that later on, but it was
Yes.
really weird the way they handled that whole storyline.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So after Aeolus leaves her pretty much defenseless to Argo and the sarcophagus, Gabby comes across the Amazons.
Yeah. So we get Ephany, and we get...
I was so excited for Ephany.
We get, Velasca.
Not... Okay, I was very happy about Melinda Clark. She had played Velasca expertly.
Melinda Clark is amazing.
But I am not happy with Velasca.
I don't think we're supposed to be.
That's fair, which means that she played the character well. Like,
I mean,
she did...
it's pretty much a Melinda Clark character. I love Melinda Clark, but she kind of does a type. And it's not that far from the type. But contextually, she is Melosa's adopted daughter, and she wasn't there last time because she was a bitch.
She challenged for the Reddit cast
and lost.
So she was banished
to the
from the
one
village.
that Gabrielle got her rite of cast from.
Tereus,
yes. Also, in between that, we get Autolycus.
That's right. That there's a scene with that's when we first get Autolycus and the whole Xena bit.
So, like, right when, like, Gabrielle goes off with the Amazons at that point, before we get the explanation about Blaska and whatever. But right after that, we get Autolycus, who is stealing the dagger of Helios.
The God Killer.
And he is quite clever about it. I don't think any of his plans would have worked that way. And you can hear Xena's, like, yell in the background every time something, like, a little bit weird goes off, because he doesn't know what's going on.
No. Yeah, he's about to tiny grapple hook climb out of the temple, and you get the wee 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 wee, and his grapple hook goes in, destroys a statue. So this very clearly not well crafted statue.
Yeah, the statue would have been shit.
Gets torn in half. This top half gets clean cut right off.
Either that or Xena is a demigod even in her spirit state. Even in the spirit world, Xena's a demigod.
It's the only explanations, because the teeny tiny grappling hook.
Xena being a demigod is almost the only explanation for almost anything.
Accurate. To get the wooden map to show where Ambrosia lies.
Yes. And then he loses control of his body entirely to Xena, so Xena can get them out. Because a bunch of the guards come in and discover that he's stealing stuff.
And it's absolutely remarkable watching Bruce Campbell play this.
Watching Bruce Campbell play everything. Bruce is a really good actor. I think he's one of the, like, he's an underrated comedy actor, I think.
Because being able to twitch and make your body move in a way as if somebody else was trying to control it.
Yeah, and you were fighting against them.
Still trying to control it.
Yeah.
So it was just masterful watching it happen.
He doesn't know what's going on, but then he hears a voice, and then he starts walking around talking to everybody about the voice he hears. Hilarious. And they go over to a bucket, and he can see Xena's reflection, which is confusing, but fine. Magic exists in this world. I'll take it. Yeah. And there's a dagger that kills gods, and also gods. So.
Yeah. Where Xena then gets to explain exactly what is happening, what they're going after.
Yeah.
And that she needs him to steal her body.
Right.
Which you wouldn't think would have to happen if he would just go to Gabrielle and say, this is what's happening in my life.
I mean, there's a lot of things that could have happened. You know, there's just a lot of things that could have happened. So we left with Autolycus for a while. We're back at the Amazons, where Gabby is getting her coronation.
I am still absolutely disappointed with Gabby willing to give Xena an Amazonian fire.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. She said she was going to bring her ashes back. That's perfectly fine. Xena would have been fine with that.
It does make it easier to travel. I get it.
Xena just wanted to lay to rest with her brother. I don't think they really cared. Like, that didn't really seem to be her concern.
I think it only bothers me knowing what future we learn about the future.
Okay, but what we learn about the future... I mean...
With spoilers.
Yeah, but spoilers, how does Gabrielle bring her back?
Accurate.
Yeah, so... Anyway.
So, Gabrielle has agreed to give Xena an Amazonian burial ceremonial fire. Autolycus dressed in
Okay, but first we gotta do...
we
gotta do the coronation.
Right, the coronation.
Blaska has taken Gabby aside and even said, like, don't take the crown, just give the mask to me, and then everything will stay the same. And there's no read. And I remember watching this episode originally and thinking, you know what, Gabrielle, that's smart. You're not a queen.
Oh, nor you're an Amazon, really.
No. And you would not be equipped to lead them to war. You're literally just doing this because your best friend asked you to.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, fine. It's a valid reason. Let's be honest about it. That's all I'm saying.
But in Gabrielle's defense, she knows very well that even if she did take the
Yeah.
Queen mantle, she would have a council of Amazons helping her along the way.
Also, I think her point was probably to take the mantle and give it to Ebony. Which
Yes.
is, what happens at the end of the episode. So.
Because I know very well, especially hearing where Velasca wanted to go back to war with the Centaurs to gain more land.
Yeah.
Gabby couldn't let that happen for her best friend.
Yeah. That's the part. So, I mean, it's fine, I guess.
It's not smart.
It's not smart.
But we can't say that we all do smart things for our best friends.
No, I mean, that's usually how we have best friends. It's the people who will do the stupid things with us.
Yes.
Generally. So that's when you see Autolycus in Amazonian garb. And with Gabby's Amazonian garb. Yes, that's right. That's what we figured out. It was Gabrielle's old Amazon outfit. And it's hilarious. There's no reason for him to dress up.
Because he has a hairy belly.
Also, he knows that Gabrielle is there. Like, Xena's told him Gabrielle's there. He could have just walked in and talked to the Queen. This is the part that doesn't make any sense. And then he gets caught because he's kind of an idiot. And,
yeah, he waited for Gabrielle to leave after she went on and on and on to Xena's sarcophagus how she was going to be queen and how it was the right decision and she has to move on. But she will always hold Xena in her heart. There's no subtext.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that argument in a minute.
Then she leaves. He comes in to say, this is how I'm going to perform this magical feat of stealing your body. And Gabrielle comes in going, seize him! How dare you!
And he gets all mad, and then he tries to tell her that, no, it's Xena on the inside. And that she buys not at all, because it sounds crazy. Also, Gabrielle watched Xena die, so it's not like she didn't know. And he stays in the hut, sorta, for a minute, while Gabrielle goes out to start the funeral and accept the mask. And where's Velasca? Velasca got mad because Gabrielle didn't give her the mask.
Velasca's in the crowd, and when Gabrielle gets the mask handed to her, she steps up away from, tries to step forward, being prepared to accept the mantle, like the mask, only to have Gabrielle look at her and start putting the mask on herself.
Right, and then she shot the knife. Right. Nothing really gets solved very well. The Amazons till the next episode. This is all very confusing. Anyway, Autolycus breaks out of the thing. They light Xena's pyre.
Yep.
And
he thinks, oh no, it's too late.
Yeah.
Xena takes over Autolycus's body.
100%. She just is like, just relax. And then she just goes. So she does her Xena moves and her Xena yell. And then Gabrielle's like, oh my god, that's my girl.
And the way Renee has Gabrielle's face light up.
Yeah.
To realize that, wait a minute, that is Xena.
Yeah.
You said the truth. Those are Xena's moves. You can't tell me.
She knew.
Just by watching somebody else make these moves. That Gabrielle is not in love with Xena being able to, like...
Dude, she had like a 2-minute speech about how much she loved Xena right before this.
Yeah, but you can't tell me it's platonic love. You cannot tell me it's platonic love.
Okay, but then that brings us to the next scene because they do, in fact, steal Xena's body and they go off. Gabrielle and Autolycus. Because Gabrielle is on Team Autolycus now.
Yeah.
And then they have a little conversation.
On the to get ran away with.
She did. She really did. And then Xena doesn't really ask for permission again to take over Autolycus' body.
No. She's like, I get to talk to my girl? Let me talk to my girl. Bah!
Makes Gabrielle close her eyes and then they talk in dream space. I don't even know how to start discussing this. The 90s is weird. Because this scene goes down the way you want it to go down. Like, they say they love each other, it's all great, it's all grand. They mostly kiss, and then it fades, and it's Autolycus and Gabrielle kissing. Straight people want us to believe that that's subtext. But motherfuckers, that's text! That's text.
Oh, it makes me want to ask if the straights are okay, because there's nothing subtext about that.
There's no subtext. The only reason why it wasn't more explicit than that is because it was the 90s.
Early 90s.
No, mid-90s.
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 Because, yeah, there's no subtext.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Even after, because after that kiss, and Autolycus was like, I'm glad you worked things out, and I had a good talk. And she's like, get your hand off my butt.
And it's like he doesn't even know.
No.
Like, I'm glad you had a good talk. Like, he didn't even know what the conversation was, which means Xena blocked him out of that. And his hand was still on Gabrielle's butt.
Which he got hit for.
By Xena.
Yes. Xena took control over him, hit him, because he didn't let go when Gabrielle was like, your hand's on my butt.
And we're supposed to think that's subtext.
That's just a best friend looking out for their best friend.
Oh,
no wonder why our best friendship was so fucked up. No, she's just my best friend.
I'm gonna just hide behind my hair.
Nobody else is here, but sure.
But yeah, literally.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
And, I don't know, it's hard to process that, and it's hard to process that with, like, you reading the wiki 2 minutes ago, or right before we recorded this, and them saying that it's subtext, and it's not subtext.
It's not subtext.
Because they did not pan back until after Xena had already reached Gabrielle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was...
The only... You didn't get to see lips on lips, but there was no denying what that was.
One of my favorites is watching this episode on the Xena with Renee and Lucy's commentary. Because they didn't remember this episode.
No.
And even they were like, what the heck?
How kissed?
How were they pretending they're not gay?
You're my girlfriend.
Yeah. Mocking each other. Oh, man.
Oh,
but
anyway, good time.
That's 90s representation for you. So Velasca has everybody charging after Gabrielle because Gabrielle's a traitor because she let Xena's body be taken. None of that makes sense either, of which Effany states, by the way.
Yes.
Because Effany's like, maybe we should just let Gabrielle explain it to us because this doesn't make any sense.
It's not like Gabrielle to do something like this without a reason. Let's have her talk.
But Velasca wants that power.
Well, of course she does.
So Xena, Gabrielle, and Autolycus go to the temple of something. Helios? I don't know where they're going.
I don't remember. It's just on a map.
It's just a place on a map. Anyway, they go, with the dagger of Helios, they put it in the dooley, and the fruit of the gods falls out of the ceiling.
We skipped some scenes.
I did, because all of it is Velasca being mad.
And BDSMer.
What?
She had Autolycus on a leash, stripped down, and was beating him and saying, I like pain. I don't like pain because of what it can make people do.
Right.
She is totally a dominatrix.
See, here's the difference. I'm super ace. And
you missed it.
Ignored that scene. I didn't miss it. I remember it now. I can see it in my head, but yeah.
Oh, you ignored it.
I did.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I ignored it in that context anyway. It's a Velasquez evil context that I just kept it in.
Fair. Okay. Ways to see things from an ace and an aloe. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't remember the order of events as next happens. All I know is that there's a fight.
Well, ends up happening is Autolycus, they get to the cave and he sees the stone with the dagger imprint. He's like, that looks familiar. Didn't figure it out as much as Xena's fading in the background going, dagger of Helios. dagger of Helios. And you don't hear her anymore. And they get captured. They get brought back to the Amazonian the camp. Gabby and Effany and Solari all get thrown into the dungeon with their allies. Well, Autolycus gets leashed and collared and beaten around by Velasca to figure out what's happening. I know there's something important about that cave.
Right.
That's how she finds out that it's Ambrosia. What I never understood with her is she stripped him from his lockpicks and all that stuff, so he was basically in his boots, pants, and tunic, but didn't take away all his weapons because in his boot was a dagger of Helios.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how it got to that far. Unless it was some, secret ally trying to give him hope. To be like, maybe you can use this dagger to get out of her clutches. And then didn't.
Not all of the Amazons were Velasca friendly.
And a lot of them were pretty much saying, okay, you will kill me, so I'll just stay here.
Okay. But when they get to the cave, how do they start the fight? How does the fight start? I don't remember.
Velasca goes back to the cave and grabs the vines, and that's when Gabrielle and Autolycus show up.
Right, okay, so
but
Velasca gets there
broken
first.
Arm.
And then Xena jumps into Gabrielle, and then there's a fight on the vines that Velasca loses. Because Velasca cannot fight Xena.
No, she cannot.
Not even in Gabrielle's tiny little weaker body.
No. So then she managed to... Velasca gets a dagger of Helios into the imprint, turns the crank. Then Ambrosia falls from the sky.
Right.
Hits Gabby in the boob.
Right, which is how Gabby gets her piece of Ambrosia.
And then falls into fire.
Right.
Velasca then falls onto spikes.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, Xena cut the vines above her head to let her fall.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah. And then falls onto spikes. And she comes back down to where Effany has brought the sarcophagus down to the cave. To give Xena and Ambrosia to be like, what does it matter? All the Ambrosia gone. And she reaches into her bra to be like,
it's boob Ambrosia. Boob Ambrosia.
Ambrosia.
I mean, okay, but how did Xena's body stay so perfectly preserved for so long? Or am I to believe that this happened all within a week?
It happened all within a week.
I mean, Greece is not like Canada big, but it's not small.
I believe that maybe what ended up happening is it was frozen because that's where they're up in the mountains.
Maybe. That, yeah, okay, we'll go with that for a little while.
We have to suspend some belief at some point. It is
I know.
fictional...
Well, I try, but sometimes my brain is like, her body would absolutely not look that way right now. Like that, my brain just can't.
Also,
turn
demigod.
It off.
She's not gonna.
My brain just can't turn it off.
I know. I appreciate your brain for that. I really do. It makes us think.
But yeah, she's a demigod. Anyway, she comes back to life and she's fine. Everybody's fine. Celebration. Woo, alive.
The disclaimer of the episode after it all.
Wait. Before the disclaimer, we get a shot of a not dead Velasca reaching for Ambrosia. Okay.
That had the last piece that had fallen from the...
Fade to black. Disclaimer.
Xena's body was not harmed during the production of this motion picture. However, it took weeks for Autolycus to get his swagger back.
I mean, sure. Autolycus is in quite a few episodes this season. I thought he wasn't in that many, but he's in quite a few.
Which makes me happy. I really enjoy Autolycus.
I do too.
I would rate it an 8.
Yeah. An 8. A solid 8, maybe higher. I don't know. I feel like this episode is probably like the Xena episode for me. Kind of ties in together like all of the things.
It does.
So, like, because before this episode we didn't hear about Ambrosia, And like
That's not true. We did it in season 1.
when.
With the 2 dudes that you made us watch, thinking that it was going to be something, the introduction of Joxer, but it was actually the introduction of Ambrosia.
Right. I don't know. It just feels like it. I don't know. 8 is good. Belinda Clark's a little bit hammy, but that's more so a problem in the next episode.
Yes.
And it's not really a problem. It's just it's kind of appreciated actually. She really goes for it, man. She swings for it hard. And when you're up against Hudson playing Callisto, it's hard.
Yeah.
So the next episode will actually be A Necessary Evil, and it picks up exactly where this one left off, but with no Bruce Campbell at all, as if he never existed.
Yeah, he just disappeared. Well, we did get to see him off.
That was my phone?
We did get to watch him leave.
Yeah, like we saw him off, and he went to go do stuff, and we'll see him in a couple of episodes.
Like, because he said goodbye to Xena. She said, "I'll give you a favor. You're a really nice guy."
And he's like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
Except he is.
Yeah. So he said goodbye, and then they had their heart to heart, and then we pick up as if because they don't even talk about him next episode.
No, it's not even a conversation. We never really process the fact that Xena's dead at all, and it's funny because we don't have that many episodes in between this and Vedette, so. I understand now why we have an episode like a couple episodes afterwards where Gabrielle's like, I need to deal with some trauma.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of trauma.
So we'll deal with that next time. I am not giving dates on when anything is going to be out because our children are unpredictable in their wellness, as am I.
Yeah.
So...
Many apologies to our loyal listeners who do.
Yes.
You can always reach out to us on TikTok. I was about to say Tumblr. We don't have a Tumblr.
We better not.
Instagram.
Although TikTok is not that much different than Tumblr anymore.
Instagram.
Yes, we have an Instagram. We are on Twitter, although minorly, and we're going to try and get up on YouTube, but there's not really much video there. So TikTok and Instagram is basically it. You can also email us, same thing as theshockerreturns@gmail.com. And until next time.